Heavyweights Ivan Dycho and Jermaine Franklin are gearing up for a heavyweight battle on Saturday, September 13th, facing off on the undercard of Canelo versus Crawford. Let's talk about this heavyweight fight that is a crossroads match for both men. The September 13th card that shows Canelo Alvarez against Terence Crawford is slated to have a battle of heavyweight up-and-coming contenders on the undercard, and it could prove to be an explosive affair. One of these could turn into a contender for a title shot next year sometime. Ivan Dycho, a 6'9" heavyweight out of Kazakhstan, will be bringing his record of 15-0, 14 KOs into the ring as he tests himself in the greatest test of his career thus far against Jermaine Franklin. Franklin, who has had the honor of facing the likes of Anthony Joshua and Dillian Whyte, is bringing his record of 23-2 with 15 KOs in, facing the giant Kazakhstan fighter in Dycho. Franklin is 6'3", and he typically weighs in around the 250s. But Dycho, with that 6-inch height advantage, and they haven't given us his reach, he could prove to be a heavy-handed fighter that will give Franklin all that he can handle. Now, Franklin isn't the most defensively sound fighter, but he does have a great deal of grit within him. He's not a fighter that's going to come in and lay down, and a lot of the opponents that Dycho has faced have been guys that were basically set up bowling pins for him to knock over. The older veteran fighter Ray Austin is also a victim of his, but he was woefully out of shape and way past any sense of a prime. Now, Franklin, when he battled Dillian Whyte, the fight was close. Some people even thought that he could have pulled out that decision, but Whyte did get the favor over him, and so now Franklin has 2 losses on his record after losing to Joshua first. When we think about the big Kazakhstan, he's a pummeling fighter. He's got very heavy hands, and he's a plotter. There's a quickness about his punches because of his height, but I am not certain about his ability to take a shot. You know, at 6'9", there's not a lot of guys who are going to be able to reach the chin. Now, Franklin, who stood in strong against Anthony Joshua, that experience alone, because of Joshua's pedigree, should give him confidence to feel like he can handle the likes of Dycho. But we don't know until the fists start flying. And we really need to know what the motivations of each man happens to be, because the most recent fight for Franklin was a victory over Devin Vargas in May of 2024. That's a long layoff for him, especially since Dycho has fought as recently as July of this year. So these two will be meeting on the undercard, where a lot of eyes will be on them, because this will be broadcast on Netflix, not pay-per-view television. So people are going to be able to tune in. As far as the Kazakhstan Dycho, we will see him try to be a breakout star in this opportunity. Will he be able to be successful over Franklin? I would hedge my bet that he might be just a little bit strong for Franklin, and they always want to keep a new face in the division of someone who can represent a different part of the world. So Franklin does have his work cut out for him. And can he be victorious? Absolutely, because his fights against Joshua and Dillian White showed us that there's a little bit more under the surface when it comes to him. The only thing he needs to do is come in better condition than he showed in his last couple of outings. And that's all within his hands, something that he can control. But what do you think? This is Stormy B-Man. Shout out to the mighty LDBC and Liberated Perspective, a third eye view of the world. For more content such as this, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Let me know what your thoughts are about Franklin, and will he be able to conquer the giant in Ivan Dycho? Peace to everyone out there, and everyone please remain safe.